So question, will farmers across our great country be impacted by policies being put into place by the Trump administration? Many think they will see fewer profits on what they grow, especially soybeans.
Yeah, and joining us today to talk about this is Thomas Burrell, the president of the Black Farmers and Agriculturalists Association. Welcome to you. Good to have you with us.
Kim, thank you for having us. Joe, thank you for having us.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Explain how tariffs being imposed by the Trump administration will impact farmers, specifically soybean farmers.
Well, tariffs always have an impact. The question is, will there be a negative impact? In the short run, there will almost always be downsizings and negative impacts. But in the long term, tariffs rightly understood, particularly for farmers, as it relates to promises that this administration has made. Just recently, the Secretary of Agriculture, Brooks Rollins, in Denver on Sunday, made a promise to farmers that, among other things, the ramifications of tariffs will not affect them. We believe that the government is going to make sure that whatever subsidies are necessary to sustain those farmers during a tariff will be in place, and that at the end of the day, they will not be as negatively impacted as otherwise suspected.
You did a Zoom call earlier this week with 10,000 of your members, 10,000
Yes.
farmers. What is the current feeling you are getting from the membership?
Well, keep in mind, when we talk about tariffs, people tend to think that it's going to have, and as we said, it will have a short-term effect. If I could use an analogy, whether we're talking about bales of cotton or boatloads of cars, the analogies are basically the same. If I could just use the car analogy, let's assume for the sake of illustration, a foreign company is making a car for $10,000. The administration may put a 20% tariff on it, meaning it's going to sell now for $2,000 more or $12,000. What the tariffs will do more than anything is to get those corporations to move their production to this United States. Because when we look at whether it's a bushel of corn or a bale of cars, it is those collateral opportunities, as we say in farming, the trimmings. That car is going to produce another $80,000 to $90,000, Kim, in terms of other opportunities. So you not only lose the car, but you lose those collateral opportunities. Therefore, the Chinese businesses will benefit from those. By bringing that car, bringing that bushel of corn, as it were, back to the United States, you may lose 10% or 20% on the car, but you make up for it, at least the theory goes, when you now have access to another 80 or 90,000. Case in point, if I might, the Ford plant here in Tennessee, Blue Oval, okay?
Right. Sure.
Now, if that plant were to go someplace else, that means the hotels, the restaurants, and all of the other infrastructure or collateral opportunities would go with it. So by creating the tariffs in the short term, you have to make sure that the people are protected because of the short-term effect. But theoretically, rightly understood, as it were, in the long term, it should benefit your members.
Okay, we're about out of time, but I know that application forms will be coming out soon for the Emergency Commodity Assistance Program that passed last year. It provides $10 billion in economic aid. What does that mean for farmers?
Well, not only does it provide $10 billion in aid, but the secretary also said she's going to add another $20 billion to it. That's a boon for farmers, and that is, here again, some of the subsidies that we might call, a lot of people have problems with that, to kind of tide them over during the downsize that would be affected in the short term by tariffs. But it's a boon, it's a blessing for all farmers in particular.
Well, we want to thank Thomas Burrell, the president of the Black Farmers and Agriculturalists Association, for being with us today.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Kim.